Right. All right. We should be starting. We should be beginning. You ready? You
Yep.
ready? Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Minnie? Minnie?
Hi.
There we go.
Um,
There we go.
sorry. I'm sorry. Hi. I just got like super nervous all of a sudden. I'm good. I'm good.
Remember,
Um,
square breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds
mhm.
waiting, 4 seconds holding your breath, and 4 seconds out. I don't know where the fourth side is to that square breathing technique, but maybe it's a
I
triangle.
guess maybe just the loop. I don't know.
Maybe it's a
Uh,
loop. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good though. I'm good. No
Okay.
worries.
Cool. Cool. So hello, everybody. All right.
Hi.
All right. All right. All right. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sir, This is an Interview podcast. I am Himchan. Here I interview with VTubers, big or small, on who they are, how they became VTubers, and how VTubing impacted their lives. We here aim to abide by oral history methodologies to maintain a level of chronology, narrative, and ethics. But we are always open to being everywhere with everything at once, from the chaos that is VTubing. But also note, I am not alone in these interviews. During the interview, you, the chatters, have a chance to question the interviewee, providing us either trivial or in-depth insight into the lives of these fun and complex individuals. Also, for those VTubers that want to come on, our scheduling is still open. If you wish to share your story, send a message to the email in the description down in the description below, alongside our interviewees' socials, or find it on this channel's About page. The only qualifications as of now are having a model, following a level of 150 subs, with exception. I mean, like, sometimes. I mean, like, if I were to not make exceptions, this would be a big or small VTuber podcast, or interview series, um, and or a experience in some level of content creation, whether it be streaming or prepared content. For our interviewee, you can. Oh wait, I already said that. I have to remove that from my script now. Great. Okay, just for future, I'm gonna get rid of everything. Uh, there, delete now. Could you introduce yourself, Minnie?
Right. So hi everybody. My name is Minnie Evolved. Most of my friends call me either Minnie or Min. I am a blind elf VTuber, and I just kind of chill most of the time, and I just like to share my perspective as like a blind gamer and just a general, I guess, queer person and stuff.
Nah,
It's kind of a whole thing.
queer.
um,
How queer?
yeah,
Yes.
it's just I try, yeah, I just do my thing
Mm.
mostly.
On a brief topic, pronouns.
I use she they.
She, they. Gotcha.
Hmm.
So, when did you discover VTubing?
Oh God. I think. Oh gosh, my tracking's getting weird. I'm sorry. Um, I think it was back in like when it was like first starting to become a thing. I don't remember their name, but I found a VTuber that started like doing videos on like Japanese lessons and
Yeah.
stuff. Um, it never caught on for me, unfortunately. At least the Japanese thing.
Mm.
Just I struggle with it. But I was like, wow, that's really, really cool. I'd like to do that someday. And then like I kind of forgot about it for a couple of years. And then um I started like actually streaming, and a bunch of my friends kind of brought it up, going like, man, I'd like to be a VTuber. I'm like, wait, isn't that thing where like people use like animated avatars and stuff? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's rad.
Mm.
So it just sort of it was a thing that I would stumble into every now and then. I'm like, you know what? I think it'd be cool to do. So that's pretty much that, honestly.
All right. Are there any VTubers that have inspired you?
um, I don't know that I have like a specific inspiration aside from like personal friends of mine.
Uh huh.
Um, like DJ, I know you interviewed him a while back. Um, he's one of my closest friends, and like he's been a huge inspiration for me as far as just content in general, and just he's he's just been awesome. And like I've had like I don't really have like any like big inspirations for like but it's just mostly like friends and other streamers
Mhm.
that have inspired me to like give it a shot.
Uh-huh.
Even other blind streamers and stuff, because like it's just really cool to see other people do that, and they're like, I have some of the same sort of limitations as you do, but I'm making it work and it kicks
Uh-huh.
some butt. So here we go.
And why specifically the genre of streaming that is VTubing? Or let me rephrase that. Why do you choose to VTube rather than normally stream?
Um, well, I figured I could uh still represent myself and not show my face, because I'm honestly super self-conscious about my appearance and everything. It's a thing that I've like trying to work through, but like, I figured also I have issues with cameras in my setup because I move around constantly. So
Uh,
I can never stay in frame anyway. So it's all just weird, but I wanted to still represent myself, so it just kind of worked out for me in that way.
mhm. Are there any what style of streaming would you say you do?
Um I guess it's more of like a variety type of thing. I
Uh,
just kind of play whatever games I happen to enjoy or happen to be obsessed with at the moment, or just
mhm.
kind of pretty much whatever I can play, honestly.
Mhm.
Because I find it sometimes I have to like most of the time actually I have to really look up and research about a game to figure out if I can even play it. So if I find something I can play, I get really excited about it, and I share it with people if I can.
Mhm. Uh, and what was the inspiration to go for that style of streaming or that style of content?
I actually started out with Let's Plays.
Mhm.
Like before I started streaming, I had a different channel that I started back in 2013, and that was inspired by the likes of like Chugga Conroy, and my Minecraft stuff was inspired a lot by Good Times with Scar and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just really liked the idea of just sharing my thoughts as a blind gamer and stuff like that. Like I know tons of other blind people do it too, but like there's so many different perspectives out there. I felt like, mine was unique enough
Uh-huh.
that like it'd be interesting for someone that was willing to just kind of, I guess, tune in and check it out and just see a different perspective. Um and then I started streaming because I was part of a Minecraft server at the time, and a bunch of them started streaming. I'm like, this just seems like a lot of fun. Not only do you get to not only do I get to share my perspective, I can talk to people like as I'm doing it, and like, if they have questions or just want to have a conversation. I don't know, it just seemed like a really fun thing to do, and I just kind of fell in love with it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I just kind of roll with stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's
I
kind of
get that.
my that's just kind of my MO. I just do it cuz I think it's fun.
And what would be the main reason why you stream?
Um I mean, again, it's pretty much I just want to share my perspective with everyone. It's just a fun thing to do. I don't have much else going on,
Uh-huh.
admittedly. Um and like, I don't know, I've made a ton of friends like that way through streaming and stuff, and I usually struggle with that because
Mhm.
I'm usually 9 times out of 10, if you encounter me outside of stream or a Discord call, I'm probably about the quietest person you'll ever meet in your life. But then, like, when you get to know me, I'll never shut up.
Mhm.
So it's like, um, sometimes I feel like when I'm streaming, I skip that first quiet step, you know, because I'm trying to be entertaining at the same time. But I'm like, you know, just chatting and having a good time, and I don't know. I think it's just fun.
Hmm. So you have, so you mentioned that you don't have much going on, correct?
Yeah.
And why would that
I
that be?
um yeah, so just as a disabled person,
Mm.
finding a job is difficult at
Uh,
best. So other than Twitch, I don't really have anything as far as employment goes. So I don't have a whole lot to fill my time aside
mhm.
from like hobbies, basically.
I got that.
Which, you know, sounds theoretically great. But there's just so much time that I'm like, I could be doing something far more
Mhm.
productive. But I also get plenty of time for streaming and D&D and everything else that I enjoy. So there's also it's a good and bad thing, you know.
Mhm. So now, how would you describe your disability?
Um,
I know you mentioned blindness, but what kind of blindness? Because it is a very complicated subject.
yes.
Mhm.
So I don't actually know the name of my condition. I've for some reason struggled to get a straight answer from doctors about it.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I am completely blind in my left eye, and my right eye has what I've been told is about 10% vision.
Yeah.
Not sure what that's supposed to mean. It just sucks. Um, so I don't know if I were to describe it, I would say uh frustrating sometimes, but overall just kind of whatever, you know.
Mhm.
I can do a lot more than some people think I can. Um, you know, I still obviously I have limitations and stuff. There's certain things I can't easily do
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like using a camera for a setup like this, for example, it's doable, but not the easiest thing. But it's fine.
All right. Do you have any?
Um,
Yeah. Do you have any tools, or yeah? Do you have any tools that help you interact with the world?
I do.
Mhm.
I do actually. So I have a white cane for when I, you know, for when I walk around.
All
I
right.
do have some issues with light sensitivity, so usually when I go out, like regardless of what the day is like, I'll be wearing sunglasses. I hate the stereotype around it, but it's necessary. I don't want to go through a day with a migraine, so it's kind of a whole thing. Um, so I have my cane to help navigate and stuff like that. I have my phone also has pretty much every smartphone these days has accessibility built in, which is really nice. So that, you know, my phone is pretty much my lifeline. I use it for pretty much everything.
Uh-huh.
Um everything from, you know, communicating with people, finding my way around, reading mail. Cuz like iPhones are amazing, right? Like
Mhm.
I can take a picture of my mail and then I can have my screen reader read the text from that. Um, and like that's wicked. It saves so much time and energy.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, yes, yes, please. And I can do that with just about anything. Like if I want to read something, all I have to do is take a picture of it and just be like, okay, voiceover, do your thing, you know.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that's pretty much vital. And like on my like computer, depending on which one I'm using. Both of them have magnifiers, and so I use that pretty much constantly, except for when I'm playing games because it's not practical for that. Um, and then there's also different screen readers like Macs and iPhones, and like pretty much every Apple product has voiceover. I use NVDA on Windows, but there's also stuff like JAWS. I don't know if Windows Eyes is still a thing. They used to be a thing. A lot of my friends used to use it.
I'm not too sure.
But there's also like the narrator and stuff, and those are all screen readers. They just like read out everything that's on screen and help you navigate and stuff like that. So That's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
that's like most of what I use. Everything else is just me either slapping tape on something to make it tactile, so I know which thing's which, or you know, literally just making sure I put things in the same spot so I know where to find it next time. Stuff like that.
I got that.
It's just kind of you figure stuff out as you go. Mainly,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of just have to um, you kind of just have to take everything as it comes and then like roll with it.
Mm-hmm. I got that.
Yeah.
Uh, in regards of walking around, do you use like a GPS by chance?
I do. That's pretty much what my phone is for. Because I
Mm-hmm.
usually just use like Google Maps or like whatever, and just have GPS going around. Um, if I know where stuff is at, I'll just I'm good. It's more just a matter of paying attention to what's around me and just making sure I don't get like run over.
Of course, of course.
um, a lot of people get amazed that I can navigate like traffic lights, and I'm like, all you have to do is listen to the traffic flow. You don't really have to. Oh dear. You don't really have to look at the lights if people are actually driving the way they're supposed to. Um,
In America,
so
that's a given.
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. Even around here, sometimes like I'm trying to go to the grocery store. I've got my little wagon with me, and I'm just like, y'all, can you actually like stop at the red light, please? So sometimes I have a little monocular as well that I'll sometimes use, like especially if I'm struggling to figure out when the lights are changing because people sometimes. I'll have that with me so that I can just take it out and look for the traffic light.
uh,
Everybody thinks I'm like a pirate with a telescope around. It's really weird. I
mhm.
get a lot of weird looks sometimes. It's like a whole thing. Um, but yeah, mostly it's just, listening and paying attention
Got that.
and trying not to get distracted,
Mhm.
which is a thing that happens a lot.
Uh, would you like to dispel any like misconceptions surrounding blindness that you like to
Um,
dispel?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, like, just a lot of time I struggle with people not really realizing that vision is a spectrum.
Mhm.
Um, and I'll be honest, that confuses me because, like, um, a lot of people are like, oh, well, like, old people will lose their sight when they get older. And I'm like, okay, yes, right. And they're completely able people, like, they don't have a disability, right? That can happen to anyone at any age for any reason, right? Like, I don't mean to incite like paranoia or anything, but it can happen. It's a thing. Um, and like, it's just sometimes weird when like people are like, "Oh, get get glasses, get this, that helped this person that I know who's blind and everything." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, cool. You're right. That can help.
Mhm.
Won't help me." I've literally been told that there's no prescription that can help me. So like I tend to get frustrated when people are just like, "Oh, just get glasses, that'll solve everything." No, it doesn't. Even if you have glasses, it's still not going to solve anything. You're still going to like even if I had glasses, I'm still prone to eye strain. That's not going to change. I'm still
Mhm.
light sensitive. That's not going to change. Even if even if I had a prescription words um that would clear things up, like I'm still going to have limitations. Things are still going to be difficult. It's not going to fix everything. There is no fix, right? It's just you deal with it. If you get something that can help, great. Otherwise, you're SOL. You just got to learn how to deal with it. And there's definitely lots of places you can go to figure out ways to help out and things. But like, it's just kind of the way it is, really.
It is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
It can be very frustrating, right? Like I hate being in positions where I'm constantly reminded of those limitations. Like I again referencing a Minecraft server I used to be part of all things. They started doing a lot of stuff with roleplay, which was really cool, but since a lot of it revolved around the chat that I couldn't use, it made it impossible for me to actually participate.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, that wasn't their fault, but like, just the way the game is and how limited accessibility is by default. Like, it has a narrator, but it sucks. It doesn't work great.
Mhm.
And like, so it's just frustrating to just kind of constantly be reminded about it, you know? And especially how sometimes other people respond to it. You just, after, if it happens enough, at least with me, like, you just kind of start not feeling like a person anymore. And that can get really dark. My phone is tilting. Hang on. Stop doing that. There you
Okay.
go. Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
So
it's fighting me.
you mentioned that
Sorry.
you mentioned you got help making your model with DJ, right?
Yes.
Mhm. Could you
I
describe that entire creative process?
um there wasn't really like a ton. For the most part, I had what I wanted in mind, and I just asked him. I'm like, hey, well, we were talking about it, and he offered to help. Really, I didn't really ask him to do anything. But I'm just like, wow, it'd be really nice to get my, thing refined a little bit. Oh, geez, what is happening? Um, it'd be nice to get everything like refined a little bit. Um, and he's like, hey, I can totally help you with the hoodie and stuff like that, because I already had this kind of design in mind, and I had a version of it that I was using as a PNG. And I'm like, it'd be cool to go 3D and stuff. And he's like, I can totally help you out with that. Um, so I just gave him the idea for the hoodie, and he found one online that kind of fit what I wanted. And he's like, yeah, I can just like recolor it and make it work. And the next day, he sends me screenshots of the model with the hoodie, and then he sends me one without the hoodie, and then this shirt is in there, and he's like, I know you wanted to use like the ace flag colors and stuff, so I just wanted to do this as like a little surprise. And I was really, really happy, and I was surprised. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And now it's kind of become, I guess, my main look, honestly.
Oh, it's the ace flag. I
Yes,
thought it was
it's the
I thought it was the non-binary without the yellow stripe for a moment.
it does kind of look similar to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Just
But
upside down.
no, this is the yeah. But no, that flag would apply to me too, actually.
Uh-huh.
So I guess I could have gone with that. Um, but no, this is the asexual pride flag. And it's my original idea for it was that I wanted to make it more of a subtle thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I had to actually rebrand because of some stuff. So I had to rebrand for safety reasons, and that's
Gotcha.
pretty much why I took the name Minivolved. And then this design kind of came out of that, because I was like, well, now I'm under a new name. I don't have to hide it anymore. So I want it to just be a thing. So I was like, okay, purple hair, do all the cool things. Oh, I don't know. I just thought it worked. And I've had a lot of friends come to me ever since I started using this design. Like, they would come to me, they would message me going like, hey, so I didn't want to like say this out loud because I didn't want to accidentally out you, but like, I love the ace vibes of your design, and like, I just think it's super cool because like, I'm also ace, and I think it's just really neat that there's another ace creator out there that's so open about it. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that was totally the point. I
Mhm.
appreciate it. It feels good, you know?
Gotcha. Nice.
It's
You feel like
it's pretty
you're a
wild.
representative.
Kind of unintentionally, but yeah, a little bit.
Everyone, everyone, we have an unintentional representative of the ace community here.
I just like I said, I just try to like do my thing. I try to like I don't tend to do like overtly educational
I get
stuff,
that.
but like I just I like to try to just show people stuff by just, existing.
Mhm.
Cuz like I feel like one of the most valuable things is like to show that like, hey, um these might be aspects of my identity, me being ace, me being disabled and stuff. But it's like, you know, I'm still a person, and I think that's one of the most valuable things, because I feel like sometimes people don't really understand that, intentional or otherwise. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a thing that like I've run into so many people that have never encountered blind people before, and they're like, "Whoa!" And then they just kind of stare at you like you're an alien. They mean well, but you're still being stared at, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm uncomfortable now." You know, um, why is it doing that so much? It's fine. Um, so I just kind of want to like show off the fact that it's like, hey, we're just here. We
Uh-huh.
just we
Just vibing.
exist.
Just vibing.
Yeah, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Yeah, the vibes are real.
Mm-hmm. Now, I assume you're going to be planning on making new outfits for your model. I know
I
we
would like
talked
to.
about this
Yes.
earlier, but yeah, do you have any plans
Yes.
for it, or any like
Um,
concepts that you're thinking about?
I do have some ideas for outfits. I do have one in mind that is more of like your traditional bard outfit because like, where I'm from that was a thing. Um so I want to kind of bring that basically I never really used that look for YouTube or Twitch, but I'm like I kind of want to bring that back for myself. I just
Uh,
think it would be cool. Um and like I don't know, maybe just some other I guess fantasy inspired looks I think would be interesting, and I don't know. I don't really have any active plans other than that, but it would be nice.
all right.
Yeah.
So, Minnie,
Mhm.
why are you a knife ear? You know those pointed ears of yours look like they can stab someone. You know?
They
Yeah,
probably
they
could.
could. They could. You know, it would be terrible if someone were to use you as a pickaxe. You know? I
That
feel
would
you'd be
hurt.
perfect for stone blocks. You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just elves are cool.
elves are cool. Is that
That's pretty
does
much
that
it.
derive from your experience in your D&D games?
Partly.
Mhm.
Not the actual design, but like I do have a half elf character that I kind of fell in love with, and I sort of created her because I wanted to explore asexuality a little bit and things like that. And like I created her like shortly after I first came out to my friends, and
Uh-huh.
I was like I really want to try this out, and they were very cool about it. So I just I just love her so much. She's a cleric and
Mhm.
she's very anxious and scared of everything, but she's a lovable being and I treasure her dearly. Um but like I have so many other characters too, but like she's probably one of my favorites.
Mhm. And would you say that that inspired your model design, or is that just a how do I say coincidence?
I would say loosely, yeah. Cuz like her sort of design and vibe is very different from this.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like just the whole elven aesthetic. I'm just like I I enjoy it, but I wanted to go originally kind of go like I've sort of been in this world for a long time and I wanted to just kind of show that I've kind of integrated here and I'm used to this place.
Uh-huh.
Um hence the t-shirt and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it'd be cool to bring some of the other stuff back and show that off too.
Mhm. Actually, I forgot to ask this before, but when did you make started working on your
Um kind of it's kind of been an on and off thing, honestly. I've had like different versions of it that I've been experimenting with. I don't honestly remember when uh this one came around, at least the one that DJ worked on. But this one was like I think just after Pride Month, so like pretty recent.
model? All right, so July we're
Um
looking at.
yeah, late June, early July type of thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't have the exact date in front of me unfortunately, um but basically the version before this, it was kind of in the works for probably over like a year, just me playing with the design and other apps and things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually finding something that I liked, kind of deal.
I got that.
It was kind of a thing that I made going like, I don't think I'll ever be able to actually become a VTuber, but like it would be cool.
At least I
So I'm
tried.
yeah, basically, and then it like became a thing because a friend was awesome and helped me out. So
Mm-hmm.
um I definitely owe a lot to my friends uh that have helped me out. I wouldn't have my PC if it wasn't for a bunch of friends of mine. I'd still be on a 2015 MacBook Pro. Uh,
Lovely.
streaming on that was rough. It served
Oh,
me. It served me extremely well, but ooh boy.
how was the 2015 Mac Pro streaming experience? Huh?
I felt like the thing was going to explode every time.
Uh-huh.
Honestly,
How hot did it get?
um, pretty hot.
Pretty hot?
Pretty. Yeah, it was. There was a point where there were several points where I was afraid it was going to overheat. Um, like on stream. It's like when it does that, it shuts down, right? So I'm just
Yep.
like, yeah, thankfully that never happened, but it got pretty close and it got pretty hot to the point where like I'd have to like after stopping stream, I'd have to like let it sit for a while to like physically cool down before touching it again because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, it just got so hot. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I know Macs run hot, but oh my god, it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I'm very thankful. Like a bunch of my friends, because like a bunch of my friends realized that I couldn't afford a new computer, and they knew that I've been wanting one. So like my one friend was like, "That's it. I've had enough of this. You're getting a new PC." So she masterminded this whole thing where she started like a GoFundMe, and a bunch of friends got together and just put the money together for this whole thing. Didn't tell me about it um until one of my friends showed up at my door with a giant box in their hand and was like, "Here you go." Um, so that was like a whole day that I kind of freaked out about it because like I was like, "Oh my god, this is happening."
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not used to like having people do that for me. So like it just kind of like I didn't really know how to handle it,
I got
but I'm grateful for it, and like I tried to pay them back and they wouldn't let me. Um, like they just still refuse to let me, and they're like, listen, we got that for you to stream on, so stream to your heart's content, that's how you pay us back. And I'm like, I freaking love you guys. So yeah, I've just kind of been working to improve my stuff ever since because I'm like, well, I've got the rig for it, why not?
that. Uh-huh. I assume these friends join you on your streams? Or join you
um
whenever they can?
Not as often these days, unfortunately, but that was definitely definitely they were around more often back then. It was really cool actually because I got this PC right around the time that I rebranded. So I got to start streaming again uh, with this whole new thing. So my first stream as Minivolved was on this PC, and like that was really special to me. So I don't know, it was cool.
Gotcha. You've expressed wanting to get back to music, correct?
Yes, I've
Mm-hmm.
been thinking about it because I used to play bass back in high school.
Yeah.
And like I was in like all the school bands and stuff because like for a long time I was literally the only bass player in the entire school, so that was a whole thing. um so like yeah, it'd be cool. I've uh been sort of off and on teaching myself how to play the ocarina and stuff, and I want to be able to practice without pissing off my neighbors. you know. Oop.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of a whole thing. But I do try to sing every now and then. Last couple streams I've had to resist singing because I'm like, I just want to.
Ah,
I failed. I sang anyway, but
it was too much. It was too much.
it was just like the urge was there and I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
have to. You gotta.
What does your
So,
musical aspirations look like?
I mean, I don't really have any like plans to, pursue a music career or anything, but I just I just want to do it for the sake of just having it in my life again,
Uh,
because that used to be just like everything to me. Um, and like I kind of fell off of it mainly due to depression and other stuff
I feel
that
that.
happened
Yeah.
at the time. So it was like a whole mental health is hard. Um, but I'm like, I really want to start getting back into a lot of the things that I essentially abandoned and just start like healing from a lot of stuff. So I'm like, I don't really care about a music career or whatever, but you know, um, I just want to enjoy it again.
Do you envision incorporating music into your content in the near future?
Not currently, but I mean, if I can make it happen, maybe. I'm thinking about like adding a sort of wheel of punishment type thing, and maybe having like singing something as part of that, which I think could be fun.
Uh,
Um, but like other than that, I don't really plan much of anything if I'm being honest with you. I just kind of do stuff that I think seems fun at the time, which is not always the best for like growing a channel, but um I just do it. I don't do it for I'm not like it'd be cool to grow and get big or whatever, but like I just want to do stuff cuz I enjoy it and I want to share that with people. So
mhm.
that's pretty much why I do what I do.
And how would it look like? What will that look
What like adding music to it
like?
or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, I don't know, just probably like it'd be interesting if I could set up like a full music stream one day. I feel like I need to work on my skills a little bit before I do
Mhm.
that. But it'd be interesting to set up like a music stream. My roommate does those every now and then and they're very very fun. Um so I just feel like it'd be interesting to do that. So far, anytime I do sing, it's usually because I reference a song and then I'm like, "Oh man, I want to sing it." So I sing it. Or at least part of it.
Mhm.
So it just sort of ends up in the middle of something. Um oop, but I mean it works.
That works. Uh, as for like full music streams, how will you structure that? Do you plan on like borrowing the structure of your friend's stream?
Maybe. Cuz I mean he usually just throws up like his PNG of his like his little avatar. He's not like a VTuber or anything, but he's got just like a little avatar. He doesn't really have a camera set up. So he literally just throws up an image going like, "Yep, this is it." And then he just plays music and everybody just vibes. So I think it'd be cool to integrate my model into that or something if I ever had the tech to make that happen. But like as of right now, I'm like I have no idea. Just geez, I'm sorry my tracking's getting all weird. Um but yeah, no, I have no idea really.
Mhm. And now you did share insights to your like financial situation in our talks, living off
Mhm.
disability and occasionally Twitch providing you grocery money, correct?
Basically, yeah.
Mm,
Um uh, it's kind of rough because like I don't get enough every month to cover rent on my own.
I got that.
But my roommate is also on disability, but like together we pull together and we make it work.
Uh,
But like we don't get enough to be able to get a place on our own kind of thing. Like we are 50% below the poverty line,
I got
which is
that.
depressing. Um and like I mean, we're by no means the only ones, but it's still depressing.
Mhm.
Just to kind of know that. But like honestly, I think all things considered, like the fact that like me and my roommate have managed to like pull together and work together to be where we're at, we're comfortable and
Mhm.
honestly really lucky. So I can't really I mean I complain a little bit, but like not about everything, you know?
How did earning that grocery money feel? How
Pretty
does
good.
making dough feel?
It it feels pretty good cuz like it's Twitch is the closest thing I've got to any type of employment
Mhm.
thus far.
And what it
Um
Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
sorry. Um and like I don't get a ton from it. Like I just get like $50 here and there, usually every 6 months ish or so.
Uh-huh.
The last time I got paid, it pretty much covered my ride home from my friend's house because I went to see her for her birthday, and um Twitch basically paid for my Uber. So
Uh-huh.
that's pretty good, you know?
How often do these donations happen while you stream?
Um they don't tend to I mean, I get the occasional sub when I stream and stuff. Like people are just really nice.
Uh-huh.
Again, I don't get a ton or anything. Like I'm not uh I just I don't usually like to brag about it, I guess.
Mhm.
Um but like, every now and then I get a sub or two, and I always appreciate it. And so
Mhm.
like usually when the Twitch money comes in, it's like every 6 months to a year kind of thing. So it's not very much at all. Like it's nothing you're going to live off of.
It does come in at a pinch though, right?
Um yeah, like it helps out. I'm like, listen, I get food every now and then. There was one time when I used to live with my sisters, like we really needed some stuff for my niece, and I just happened to get some Twitch money in. So I was like, okay, yeah, you can have that. Get what you need for your niece because uh, she kind of needs food. So, you know, um, so like it comes in handy for stuff like that, and it's just I don't know, it's good to have.
Um, can you discuss how you manage the financial aspects of YouTubing? And have you ever found some opportunities or benefits during your time streaming?
Um, Honestly, there really isn't that much for me to manage. As far as all of my assets and stuff, I either use free stuff or I've gotten friends volunteering to help me out with other things. So I've been very lucky in that department, and like um so like I haven't really had to do much on that front.
Uh-huh.
I guess other than buying games,
I got that.
which is like I have to resist impulse shopping. It's a
Mhm.
problem.
I got that.
It's a problem.
Um, do you see your uh, role as a streamer as a job?
Yes and no. More so no. It's just
Mhm.
kind of a thing that I enjoy doing. Um I guess it could technically be seen that way, I guess, but
Mhm.
I don't really I don't really think of it like that. It's just
Why is that?
more of a I don't know, it's just more of a dedicated hobby that I just love to do, and it doesn't feel like I don't know, it just doesn't feel like work to me.
Mhm.
It's just I'm sitting here chilling with people, having fun, and uh I don't know, it's just kind of sorry, it's just kind of like a chill time for me.
I got that. I got that. What would it take for it to become a job or become work?
I don't really know, honestly. I haven't really thought about it that much. The only thing that's made me think about it as work is like taxes.
I got that.
um, but like other than that, I'm just like it's just a thing that I do. Um, and like I guess I do it often enough. I could consider it work. Like there was one day I did like a 6 hour stream, and like I was like talking about it. I'm like, oh man, that was a long stream. It was like 6 hours long, and somebody responded going like, that's like a full day of work. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is, huh? Um, but like even then, it didn't really feel like that to me. So like I don't really know. I don't really know what it's supposed to feel like, to be honest. Um, so yeah, I don't really know.
Sorry people. I had to cough and I had to mute myself for a bit. Um, how does it feel? That how do I say it? Considering you view your streaming as a dedicated hobby, um, and not work, how does that make you feel?
Um,
In
I
that,
mean, usually pretty good.
mhm,
It's kind of depressing that it's not like that. I don't really have like anything in the way of a job. Like it just some days like I look at what I'm doing, going like, man, is it really worth it? Because like
mhm,
there's all that like pressure to be like you grow up, you go to school, you get a job, you buy a house, you do all the things, and like I've done the go to school part. um and that's kind of it. Like that's where I'm at, and it you know like I've had like even my parents are sitting there going like, you're 31, you should be doing more than that. And I'm like, well, it's not my fault. I've tried loads of times and it just hasn't really worked out for me. And you know it's it's not the best. It's not the best all the time. Like when I have fun, I have lots of fun, but then sometimes like the reality part hits you and you're just like, oh man. And then you just kind of move on from that until it hits you again and you're like, geez,
uh,
it's a whole cycle of not great.
all right. Well, just letting you
I
know.
try to make the best of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Just letting you know. There's no guide to adulting.
I have learned that very very quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
They make you think otherwise growing up, and then it's just like you don't hit those milestones the same way or whatever, and everybody's like judges you for it,
Uh,
or at least my family has in some capacity, and it's just I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop caring because
mm,
I'm tired and I just want to do my thing.
gotta make your own milestones. You know.
Pretty much.
Mm. Now, how do you approach the creative process when planning your content? How do you get ready for stream? Also,
Um, so it depends on the game I'm doing, right? Um, for my Minecraft streams, like I'll try to have an idea of what I want to build, try to get like an image in my head. Sometimes I don't, and everything's like a disaster and stuff. But I just kind of roll with whatever usually. If there's like other games, like other RPGs or whatever that I'm playing, that I'm like I should do a little bit of grinding to get that ready to go and stuff. I'll sometimes do that on my off days.
uh,
Um, but usually there I don't tend to, like I said, I don't really plan stuff. I should. I really, really should.
mm,
But a lot of times I don't really plan too much, and um, getting ready for stream usually isn't too bad though. Like um, I have the Elgato Stream Deck app on my phone. It'd be nice if I actually had a proper Stream Deck, but I've got the app. So I have like this dedicated button that when I press it, it opens up all the things I need for stream, except for like Spotify, because I don't always use that, and like any game because like that changes. So I'm like, I'll open that stuff when I need it myself, but everything else is pretty universal. So like, it opens up my TTS for chat, um, and like all the stuff for my overlays and OBS, and all of it just gets opened up for me, which is really, really handy actually.
When planning out your streams, how do you plan on, well, planning that?
um, Honestly, for the most part, I just decide what day I'm doing, and then like if I'm not feeling it, I'll push it back to the next day, kind of thing. But um, I just kind of like arbitrarily pick. Like it's just like, okay, I've got these games going on. What one do I want to do first?
Mhm.
I'm trying to have more of like a schedule going on so that people actually know what's coming up. Um, so I try to plan that out. Like usually on a Sunday, I'll sit down and just try to like decide, okay, this is what I'm gonna play on this day. This is what I'm gonna play on the other day, and just try to have that. But like, I don't really plan out like what I'm specifically going to do until like pretty much the day it's gonna happen. It's like, okay, so I'm at this point in the game. I can do like these three things because these will take a while or something. And then if I feel like continuing, then I'll continue, kind of deal. And I kind of feel it out mostly.
Mhm. Um, so your gaming content usually, I assume my apologies. Why do you play the games that you play?
um, because I can,
Because
pretty
you can?
much. Oh, geez. Um, yeah, like a lot of times I have to like really look into a game before I get it to make sure that I can actually, see what's going on or be able to adapt if I can't or whatever. So like a lot of times it's because I can and also because I just enjoy them. But like those are pretty much the two factors there. It's just if I like it and if I can play it and if I think I can be entertaining while playing it, then I'll give it a shot. It's There isn't really much of a process beyond that.
Mhm. Alright. Uh, you recently, revisited, Lost and Hound, correct?
Yes, I did.
Mhm.
It was the 1 year anniversary from of its release, so I was like, I need to give this game some love because it does not get enough of it.
Uh-huh. Could you
Um,
describe, the game?
yeah, so it's oh dear, what is happening? Okay, so it's about a guy who adopts a dog named Biscuit, a little corgi, and she's just sort of like a little scent tracker, and um Hayden as the I guess I guess Biscuit is the protagonist, but her partner Hayden,
Uh-huh.
um, and her go on basically adventures to either solve crimes or rescue people, sometimes both. And you navigate the game purely through Biscuit's like scent tracking skills, and a lot of that is done through audio. There are visual cues now because the game was also made to be deaf accessible as well as blind accessible.
Uh-huh.
So like it's for everybody, really. A lot of people get lost in that accessibility type thing and they're like, "Oh, cute, it's accessible." And then they just kind of like leave it alone from that point.
Mhm.
And it's like it's for everybody. Just everybody can play it. Um and like yeah, it's got some quirks. It's not perfect by any means, but um it's very cute and it makes my heart happy.
Mhm.
So, um, it's kind of my little cozy game. I'll just jump into it every now and then and watch this little tiny corgi run around and sniff things. It's
Uh-huh.
very cute.
And is that why this game resonates with you?
A little bit. It's also just like, geez. Um, it's also just cool. Like, it's not the only game built for blind people by any means, but like, it's just cool to see one that's on like a mainstream platform for once.
Uh-huh.
Because most of them are hidden away or made by just like a lot of them that I know of um are made by just random people that just want to make a game that their friends can play. And a lot of them get shared on like audiogames.net and stuff like that, which can be a great place if you know how to avoid the toxicity, because that is a very scary thing there. Um, but if you know where to look, you can find some awesome stuff. Either everything from mods to make other games accessible to like just completely original audio based games that you can download and play and stuff and do all kinds of cool things with. So it's just really cool to see something like that like on Steam, and it's like it's built for you, but it's also built for everyone. And like it's just really cool to see a game out there that everyone can play starting at the same level of ability, you know? Um like if you're not used to how the sound works, you can still see it, so like a sighted person can pick it up and play it just fine in theory. Um but even if you don't have that sight, you can pick it up and play it and be able to do things on the same level as that sighted person, you know? Or if you're like me, use a combination of both cues. Because do you know how weird it is to be a visual learner as a blind person? Like what? Like
I bet
that's
it's
like the
frustrating.
cruelest irony.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the cruelest irony. You know what I mean? Um, so I tend to use both. That's why like a lot of times I'll use like my magnifier and my screen reader at the same time, which confuses a lot of my friends. They're like, "Why wouldn't you use one or the other?" And I'm like, "I need both." It's a whole thing. So I don't know. It's just awesome to see a game that can accommodate that, and just everyone can do it if they want to.
Mhm.
I actually let my brother try it out back in over Christmas, and like he was ripping through that game faster than I could, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And my brother, just for reference, he's totally blind. He can't see at all. So
I
I'm
got
just
that.
like, yeah. So he's kicking butt, you know.
Mhm.
It's kind of, and it's just nice, you know.
Uh,
I wish more games had that.
would your replay also be like a means to broadcast uh, accessible games?
Um, yes and no. Like I do try to talk about it every now and then. Like if I struggle with something because of accessibility reasons, I'll usually bring it up. Or if I find something that I'm like, oh wow, that's actually really cool and accessible, I'll talk about it. Um, because I'm like, if I'm here to share my thoughts and stuff, I might as well just share them, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I don't like go out of my way to like have like a whole segment dedicated to it or anything like that. I kind of want to make that learning experience just more casual. And just be like, here, hey, here's some food for thought for you. And like some people will explicitly ask me about stuff like that, and like I love that, because sometimes it's hard to like think about what to talk about if somebody doesn't, like, if you don't know what people actually want to know.
Uh,
I'm no teacher by any means, but I don't know, I just think it's cool to have.
good to show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's important, and I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it enough, and the people that do, it's like a very very like specific niche that a lot of times people don't like reach out of. There's just this niche of accessibility content that like, you know, most people aren't going to be interested in that unless they need it themselves, which like is great for the people that need it, but it makes it harder to spread that awareness, right? So I try to just add it into whatever I'm doing, which I don't know if that helps, but you got to do what you got to do, and sometimes you got to experiment, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, how often do you usually collaborate?
Not as often as I would like.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really big problem with social anxiety. Like
I got that.
I'm not going to lie, before this I spent a good couple minutes just like trying to breathe, and just I just get nervous. Um so it kind of just happens randomly. But I would like to more often. I'm making an effort to try to reach out to people more, and you know, just generally, like, not even just to other streamers, just generally my friends and stuff, cuz like sometimes all I will do in a day is stream, and then like after that my social battery is like done, and I'm just like, yep, gonna just go to bed. So I'm trying to get better with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the easiest thing, but you know, we try.
Gotcha. Would you say you are trying to build up a network of people you can collaborate with?
I I definitely hope to. Like I've been reaching out sometimes like to other friends and things, and I've had a few people reach out to me to that want to collab. Uh I've had a few people just sort of join me on stream randomly. The last time I played Metopia, one of my longtime friends that actually used to go to school with me, um, he jumped in, and that was a good time. And it was like partway through stream kind of thing, but I'm like, sure, just jump in and we'll chat, and we both like the game, so let's talk about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've had someone join me for my Pokemon Nuzlocke and stuff like that every now and then, so it does happen. It's just rare. Again, also the planning thing.
I got that.
I
I
need
got that.
to I need to be better about it, you know.
Do you think growth is important to you?
Yeah, I mean, if I can, I don't I don't know. I don't really actively promote myself that much. I just kind of figure whoever comes comes, and whoever wants to stick around is more than welcome to. Um, but like, I don't know, growth is pretty cool to see. It's not specifically my priority, but it's like it would be cool to see it happen more, and you know, I just want to chill and do my thing, and whoever wants to can be there, and we'll have a good time, you know.
Mhm. Why is it important?
Um, I guess it's kind of an ego thing, admittedly. Like, I don't know, it's just really cool to see that like I've made something that someone enjoys,
Uh,
or like I'm doing something that someone likes, and like I don't know, a lot of times those people that come around end up becoming friends of mine. And it's just really cool to reach out. Like I try not to like again, I try not to like brag or be weird about it or anything. Like I try to stay humble, because like I'm still a small creator and stuff like that, and I don't want the whole growth thing to be like a hugely uh I don't want it to be like a massive thing that like dominates my content by any means. I just want it to, if it's there, it's there. You know, it just feels nice to know that I'm making some type of impact
mm.
on somebody, you know. I I I know how cheesy that is too. Like,
Hey, what kind of impact do you
I
want
love
to?
me some cheese, you know what I mean?
What kind of impact do you want to actually land on people?
um
Chuck at people. Impact on
yeah,
people.
like I just yeah. I just want to I just want to be like, I don't know, I've never really thought of it as like being a positive role model, but I guess that's kind of what it is, really.
Mm.
Um, just to have just to know that I've made like some sort of positive impact on somebody, and just, you know, uh whether or not it's just making someone's day just by being around. Like, I've had friends come to me going like, I like watching your stuff because like it's a good bit of escapism for me. Like, sometimes I just have a bad day, and like one of my best friends will tune in a lot to the VODs because she can't always watch live. But she'll tune in and she'll be like, yeah, sometimes I have your streams on when I need to calm myself down, because like just hearing your voice and hearing you have fun just makes me happy. Um and it's just like a little thing. That's like one person, but like that means the world to me, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So just, I don't know, just stuff like that. And like if somebody does learn something about, you know, accessibility or blindness, or whatever else we end up talking about, then that's awesome too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
um I just, I don't know, I just want to put something good into the world.
I got that. Do you believe you believe you need a network of people to grow your channel or your stream?
Yeah, yeah, I think you definitely do. It helps a lot, if anything. Like, it's not the only factor. I feel like, you know, being able to promote yourself effectively and stuff like that like also helps. But like that network, like, in my eyes, you promote to build that network, you know. You reach out to people, you talk to people, you make friends. um you get that community, you know, you get that community going. And I don't know, I just think that makes things a lot more, a lot easier to grow, because it's like, if you can, I don't know, if you can, I don't like thinking of it in the way of like selling yourself, but like that is really what's happening. Is um you're putting yourself out there. And
Mm-hmm.
if that network like, if you can manage to build that network, and it really helps out, because it opens up the possibility for more collabs, it opens the possibility for more friendships, for a lot of things that it's a lot harder to do on your own, you know. Like I said, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be around if I didn't have the friends that I've made, right? Like, that's massive to me.
Mm. Do you think community building is important to a VTuber?
I think it definitely can be, yeah.
Mm.
Um it's uh it's kind of, I guess it kind of ties into what I was saying just now about like just having that network of friends and people you can be around. Because like, um I have a little bit of a, like, a little tiny community, small but mighty, and I appreciate them. um and like, they've supported me a lot through not only streaming, but like, some of them have supported me through a lot of real life stuff as well. And I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for streaming. Like, I wouldn't have met them, for them to support me through any of that, if it wasn't for, you know, streaming and being a content creator and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it can be an amazing thing. Excuse me.
How would you describe your current community?
um Quiet most of the time, but you know, when we get together, we have a good time,
Uh,
you know. I have a few people that show up to my streams pretty regularly and stuff, so it's always good to hear from them.
mm.
um and like, I'm starting to do movie nights in my Discord, and we just hang out. We don't really do like a whole lot, we just chill.
Do you intend on changing things up in the community? Move the community in a certain direction?
I don't really have too many plans, really. I just want to do stuff with the community that like they can take part in. Like, I'll do Mario Kart every month. um so I'm just trying to like find ways to get them more involved in what I do, because I think it would just be cool for them to like have some more input if they can.
Mhm.
But like as far as like moving in a particular direction, I don't really have any plans for that.
Do you think you'll have plans in the future
Maybe someday.
someday?
Well, I guess I'll have to see how things go, you know.
Mhm.
But
Uh,
I'm not concerned about it for the moment.
I got that. How do you connect with your viewers and build a sense of belonging within you, especially considering your unique approach to the
Um, I just mostly just chat. Somebody comes in, ask them how their day is, how they're doing. If they are, you know, I always make a point to like it's like, hey, if you don't want to talk about if you don't want to answer that question, you don't have to. But it's like you're welcome to. I just try to be as open as I can and you know, as accepting as I can, like within reason. Like if somebody comes in and trolls, then they're not sticking around.
Mhm.
But like, you know, I've had some people come in and like comment that they're like, I love that there's like another disabled person out there doing this. It's really cool. And that makes me happy. And like some people have stuck around because of that. Like some people like I've been really looking for another like ace creator that's chill and stuff and I really like your vibe and I just try to have a good cozy time with them and you
Mhm.
know, I try not to get I try I have a bit of a temper sometimes, but I try not to let it get in the way of things. I've definitely had some unintentional outbursts in the past, but like I'm working on it, you know.
Mhm.
I just try to stay chill. And that's, you know, that's mostly the vibe. I think a lot of people like the TTS also.
Mhm.
They never hesitate to tell me uh when it screws up, but I kind of love that because like a lot of people figure out that it's necessary. Like I can't really keep track of chat without it. So like, you know, whenever it goes down, like I'll get messages and people are like, "Hey, you need to fix your TTS." People are talking and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know." Um and it's always a good it's always a fun time. It makes me feel good that they take that into account and like we all just kind of end up with that like mutual respect kind of thing.
Mhm.
I don't know, I just think it's awesome.
Alright. How do you plan on garnering more or new watchers to your stream?
Um I don't. I I'm just going to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Um which like every now and then I'll reach out, just post stuff on Twitter. I haven't done much of that lately. But like every now and then I will. I'll just chat with people as they come and stuff like that and I've had a good few new people come in recently actually, which has been kind of awesome. So I think like what I'm doing is all right for now, so I'm just going to keep on going and see what happens and if that changes then I'll have to figure out something else.
Um, do you want to take a break? Water break? Liquid?
Uh a water break might actually be a good idea.
All right. All right. So, yeah. All right, chat. With that, we will be taking a break while y'all ask some questions for Minnie here. So, ask because
For sure,
that's
ask
important.
away.
This is the interaction portion of the stream. Mhm.
All right. Give me 1 second here. Everything's going to get weird. Oh, that didn't freak out as much as last time. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'll take it.
Mhm.
Hmm. Go. Phone tilting again. It keeps tilting. I don't even know.
Mm,
My it's literally just balancing on the edge of my Switch right now. Like that's the only way I have it propped up.
I got it.
So it's kind of a whole thing.
Is it the same phone that you use for everything else?
Yep,
Ah,
it's the only one I got, so it's pretty much my everything device.
I see. Did you ever have to make a phone call?
Um, I
Well,
hate making phone calls.
mm,
I hate it so much. There was one time I had to like call a guy to fix my computer, and like I panicked for like 20 minutes before actually calling the guy, and it was literally just like, "Hey, can you fix my computer?" And the guy's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And that was it. And I panicked about it for like 20 minutes. It was like a whole thing. Um, okay. I do have chat pulled up here. Um, accessibility mods and platforms for video mods for there actually are. So I mentioned audiogames.net earlier, that a lot of the community will make games themselves for the blind, including loads of mods. I think there's one called Pokemon Access, which basically turns a lot of the Game Boy Color and GBA Pokemon games accessible, so you can actually use your screen reader with it. I use Minecraft Access, um, which lets me use my screen reader to read all the menus and chat in Minecraft, among some other handy features that um, I think are just kind of they've just become so necessary for me. It's ridiculous. Like there's a feature in there that like gives you a ping when certain entities are nearby. Um, it even works with ores if you're mining and stuff.
mm.
For your average sighted player, it would definitely be cheating. But for me, it puts me on par with you. So yay. I it's kind of a whole thing. Um I don't use a ton of them to be honest because most of them tend to be designed for totally blind players, so they tend to incorporate stuff that I don't personally need. But they're out there if you know where to look, and they're helpful, I find anyway. There's even a mod actually for Stardew Valley. Um,
Oh,
I think made by the same guys that do Minecraft Access. Um, he's a really good dude actually. Um, and they're really good about taking feedback from the community. Like I've been in the Minecraft Access Discord for a while, and I've run into the odd bug, and I'll bring it up to them, going like, "How does this? Is this like a thing that needs to be fixed?" And they're like, "Yep." 2 days later, we'll get like a ping going like, "There's an update. We fixed the thing." you know. So they're really, really awesome about that. But they've been working on a Stardew access as well. That's last I heard, really, really accessible. You can basically use your screen reader with it. I don't know if it works with like JAWS. It works with NVDA, mainly because that one's free and open sourced. So that one's like the easiest to get things to work for. But um, yeah, there's just there's lots of stuff like that if you know where to look. There's even stuff if you really want to look into stuff, you end up finding stuff that's like accidentally accessible. Like one of the mods I use for Minecraft, I use like presence footsteps. I'll use like atmospheric sounds, which like presence footsteps basically just makes footsteps sound nicer, right? Which that wasn't made for accessibility, but they're nicer, they're clearer, they're more distinct, they're directional. Um, and like with atmospheric sounds, you get different ambience depending on what biome you're in. So if you know what to listen for, you'll know where you're at. And like, sometimes you gotta like find stuff like that where like it's not maybe designed for accessibility, but you make it accessible.
uh,
Sometimes that's what you gotta do. You gotta improvise. As as DJ often quotes at me, improvise, adapt, overcome,
Uh,
you got to just experiment. And that's like one of the mottos, like from, well, it's not one of the mottos, but one of the mottos that my school actually had growing up was the impossible is only the untried.
all right,
And it's a
everybody.
little bit corny, but like honestly, like I thought VTubing would be impossible until I tried it.
Uh,
I thought streaming would be impossible until I tried it. I didn't even think I could do let's plays until I tried it, you know? So I'm
mm.
like, you just got to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, you got to find another way. And if that doesn't work, you got to just keep trying until you can make it happen. It can be very frustrating.
All right,
And
everybody. Operation Knife
yeah.
here is out. Time to dox her. Time to find the school that she attended that had that slogan.
I don't really care. It's kind of the only one in Canada.
Ah, we
I'll
have
be
we have a country now.
we do. It's kind of a whole thing. Um but I don't know. You just got to figure stuff out until you can make it happen, and sometimes you'll get really unlucky and realize that it can't happen. Um and sometimes that's okay. It
Mm.
sucks. It really really sucks. But you know, if it doesn't work now, maybe in a couple years the tech will happen. Because I mean,
Actually,
again, when I was a kid,
uh,
I didn't think I'd ever be able to use a computer until one of my babysitters at the time taught me what speech synthesizers and screen readers were, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
mm,
And then I went to the blind school, and I also never thought that I would be able to cook or anything. And I went to the blind school, and they taught me all kinds of stuff. And now I'm not a good cook, but I can cook. I can survive. So,
you can make pancakes.
um,
Pancakes is all important. If you can cook a potato,
sure.
you can live.
Yep. I can make some decent fried eggs,
Uh,
I um it works. I
mm.
It's a little rough sometimes. It's a little, it's a little touch and go sometimes. You got to figure it out on the fly and stuff
No,
like that.
yeah, I
Again,
feel that.
my phone even helps with cooking. Like I'll take a picture of the like whatever directions I need to make something, and it'll just read it out to me, and I'm like, "Yes, thank you.
Mm,
Now I can do the things." um Even sometimes I'll get little stickers and stuff like that to make certain buttons more tactile, so that like I can find them more easily, like if like on the microwave or the stove or anything, like I'll know which one's the bake button because it has a very specific sticker on it that feels a very specific way, and then I'll have like an idea of how to actually do stuff without having to use my phone every single time.
mm-hmm.
It's kind of a whole thing.
Um,
It's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. And like sometimes I don't even think about how like I guess sighted people deal with it, because it's just like I don't think about how different it can be, I guess.
well, I have
I don't know, it's really
difficulties.
weird.
I have a difficulty cooking an omelet.
Omelets are tricky
They
though. They can be very tricky.
Okay, I know how to do it. Is the only issue I'm running into is that my nonstick pan is actually sticking.
I feel that. I
Yeah,
feel that. I
yeah.
have two pans that are like that, and those are my only pans.
Uh,
It happens. It sucks.
I'm not even
It's
I'm
rough.
not even referring to the French style omelet. I'm just talking about just like
Mhm.
the folded American omelet, which is
Yep.
just simply
I
like
got you.
a half moon kind of a shape. So yeah,
Yes. Yes. I've gotten decent at those, but like the folding part is still a problem.
yeah. Is it the sticking issue or is it the breaking issue that you're running into?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
A
Mm,
little bit of both.
I get that.
But like some days I can make it work. Like some days it'll be like, "Oh, the pan's cooperating with me." And it flips over and it's beautiful and gorgeous and amazing and I'm proud of myself.
Uh,
And then other days it just completely flops and I'm like, "Oh, man." But like whatever, it still tastes good. I'm going to eat it.
mm. sometime after the stream, I want to show you a certain TikTok video where a VTuber was trying to make a omuraisu omelet
Mm.
and had a lot of difficulty sliding the spatula underneath the omelet.
Oh
It
no.
looked like she was. It looked like she was very, very jittery with it as well. It looked like she
Mm.
wasn't even aiming. Yeah, Gurasan saw it too. It didn't even seem. It doesn't look. It didn't even look like she was trying to flip the omelet, or she was afraid of it, or something like that. I don't know what was the entire context, but slide to the right, slide to the left, crisscross. You know,
Crisscross.
yeah. Gosh, real smooth. Um,
Yes.
but no, yeah. It,
You gotta have like a degree of confidence when you're cooking, you know?
true.
I used to be like very tentative and things would fall apart all the time and like my mom would always be like, you gotta like just do it. You gotta like commit. You gotta go for it. You
Uh,
can't just oop, man, tracking, I swear. Um you gotta just go for it though. Like
mm,
you know,
as a
and
little
it's
as
I don't do well with heat either. Like I if especially when I'm taking stuff out of the oven, like
uh,
it'll get to a point where like my eyes will feel like they're on fire and then I can't like see anything at that point
yeah.
and it's rough. Um so I hate using the oven. I will, but I hate it.
Mm,
You know? But sometimes like even when I'm frying stuff, like I'm always like I have to be close to see things, right? But I can't be too close otherwise I'm going to get oil in my eye.
I gotcha.
Um so I'm like, okay, cool. So I got to be just far enough. So I've been trying to get used to like how things feel rather than how they look
Uh,
all of the time and you know, it's like a whole like process.
oh no, undoubtedly, yeah.
But I
Going
mean, it's doable.
Mhm. Going back to, like, accessibility in games, I
Mhm.
forgot when it actually started, but there's now a, accessibility award in, I don't know which game awards it was. I think it is just straight up the,
Yes.
game award. It's just called the Game Awards
I
or
always
something.
look forward to that particular
Mhm.
one. Um I was really happy that like The Last of Us got it
Uh,
at one point. I know people have a lot to say about The Last of Us and most of it's not great, especially like the second one. Um and like I've had a lot of discussions with friends about it where they'll like completely just dunk on it and I'm just like, okay, as a game maybe it's not that great. I don't know, I
mhm,
haven't played it. But to be fair, I've watched my brother play it again, totally blind, and he's playing it like it's nothing because he has the tools he needs to actually do it and he's having fun with it. And I'm like,
uh,
okay, you know, a lot of us don't have a ton of options, right? A lot of blind people will just gravitate to fighting games because they're just inherently intuitive and just like accessible enough. Um
that's actually
just enough,
that's a
you know.
surprise. That is a surprise to me, actually. I didn't know that,
Um
fighting games had that level of accessibility.
it's completely unintentional, but it's there. Also it's usually like a 2D environment, so there's not like a whole lot of
Uh
navigating to do.
Of course,
Um
excluding Soul Calibur, I assume.
yeah, like
Uh,
there's exceptions to that obviously, but like, you know, for the most part like I talked to my brother recently actually. He was talking to me about like how he has like the new Mortal Kombat and he's been playing that and stuff and he's like I've been having a ton of fun with it and stuff like that and I've heard they added accessibility to the new God of War. I don't have a PlayStation so I can't play it.
mm,
Um but like they've added some accessibility to that. They I wish it wasn't exclusively on PS5, but they added accessibility to the first Last of Us game. Um which I think is honestly just it's awesome. We already don't have a ton of options to begin with.
mhm,
So even if the game itself may not be like the best ever, it's something. It's something more that we can do that we couldn't do before, and that's huge, you know?
Uh,
And sometimes it just breaks my heart to see, my friends just sort of dismissing it like it's nothing, and I'm like, to me this is gold, you know? Because what, for a lot of us, like, what else is there, you
uh,
know? So again, very different, like, clash of perspectives there,
mm. Essentially,
um
the situation is like touche, but what other AAA studio is actually giving us the option?
yes. um it's just really weird, like, and again, a lot of times I don't really think about how, like, a sighted person does things or plays things or whatever. So like when that happens, it catches me off guard, like, every time, because like it's just, to me it's just normal, like that's just what it is, and it's like, oh hey, I have something else I can do now, only to have like most of my friends like dunk on it. I'm like, oh man.
Mm,
And then there's like this weird like judgment. It's like, oh wow, you like this game? It's like, yeah, I mean, what other option do I have? You know? Um Thankfully I haven't really gotten that from a lot of my friends
uh,
recently. I mean, a lot of my friends are blind, but a lot of my streamer friends aren't, and like, so they'll get into discussions like that with me, and I'm just like, but options.
uh,
It's kind of a whole thing, and like, a lot of times like they'll end up going, not necessarily going back on it, but they're like, I didn't think about that, I'm sorry,
mm.
kind of thing. And I'm like, I mean, it's cool,
Sometimes it is a matter of introducing a new perspective.
hmm
Mm,
that's, and like that right there is like a huge reason why I stream and do what I do, really, because like, you know I understand some, like, I've met people that have never really dealt with blindness at all. So like, why would they know about that, Why would they think about it if they don't even really know it's a thing to think about? I can't give them crap for that. That's not fair, you know? Um so it's like, hey, if I can present this perspective and you're willing to consider it and think about it, then I feel like I've done something good, even if I haven't taught you the ins and outs of absolutely everything.
uh,
Cuz like, I will say, even as a disabled person, I don't know the ins and outs of everything. There's so much out there. There's so many different perspectives. There's so many different conditions out there. Like, I can only really tell you about mine, but like, there's tons out there. So, like, I feel like every disabled person has something unique to add to the discussion, because everybody's needs and everybody's like, everything is so different.
mm. In short, more accessibility in games is a definite thumbs
That would be super
up.
appreciated. Yeah. It would definitely open up a lot for people.
Uh,
Just accessibility in general, really,
oh,
would
undoubtedly, yeah.
be amazing. I'm glad to see like it's made a lot of progress in the last like decade.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm
Um
very
it's
appreciative of that.
There's been a ton, and it's amazing to see. And like, I get to a point where sometimes I wish it was a little further along than it was,
Mhm.
because like, I'm like, we have the technology. I really wish more game devs would, you know, make their games with this stuff in mind.
Uh-huh.
I think it would be amazing, because like, we have the ability to make this more of a thing than it is. So sometimes I get frustrated by that, but at the same time, we have what we have, and I need to be um hopeful for the future so that we can
Mm,
get more, but also grateful for what we do already have, right? Cuz
uh-huh.
like, it's a little too easy to get caught up in that frustration sometimes, I find.
Well, I mean,
um
like, it's
so like,
understandably so, considering we live in a society built for visually abled.
yes. um so like, I mean, the frustration is definitely justified, but at the same time, it's not a good mindset to stay in,
Mhm.
you know so I try to acknowledge it, going, yes, I'm frustrated about this, but we also have this, right? Like, trying to keep in mind what we do have while acknowledging what we need still,
Mhm.
and appreciating what it's a combination of mindfulness and gratitude, I guess, while at the same time being realistic and saying, hey, we could also be progressing, you know?
I get that.
And it's like I am very lucky to have what I have and be able to do what I do. So like, I don't know. I try to keep myself humble in that way,
Uh,
you know.
so moving from that, um, you mentioned also that you usually stream during the week, correct? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I I usually do 3 times a week.
Uh,
Um it's usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday,
yes.
but like I leave the rest of the week open just in case either I'm not feeling good or I got something going on so that
Mm.
I can move my streams around and be more flexible with it.
And
Like this
what?
weekend I'm going to visit my family, so I'm not going to be here Friday, so I'm doing it Thursday instead,
Mm.
kind of deal.
So there are times that are there times that you prefer not to stream?
Yeah, it usually depends on like my sleep because that fluctuates a lot.
Uh, I feel that.
Um just it's a like insomnia is a pain in the butt sometimes, and so some days I'll wake up like an hour before stream. It's like 3 p.m. and I'm like, "Oh, I feel dead. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it today. Nope." Um so I'll call it off. I'll just be like, "Yeah, we're going to see how I feel tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys, you know." Um and then, if I do know ahead of time, like with this weekend and stuff like that, I'll just be like, "Okay, yeah, so we're doing it on this other day instead because I'm literally not going to be here." So it's kind of a whole thing. So I just like to keep myself flexible because like sometimes it changes day by day. So
Mm.
like I really never know how I'm feeling about a stream until I go to start. So it's kind of a that's one of the other reasons I don't tend to plan stuff very often. It just sometimes just I'll plan things and things fall through just because I feel like crap, and I just hate canceling plans like that.
Mm. How often are you compelled to keep within your schedule?
I've been making an effort to stick to it, you
Uh,
know, because like it's a thing I want to do and it's a thing I want to stick to. So I've been really, really trying to, and I've been trying to plan stuff more often and be a little bit more uh what's the word? Not productive, consistent?
uh,
Sure. I'll go with consistent.
consistent.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, I feel, so like I definitely make a conscious effort too, but like, just some days I'm just really not feeling it. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta bail. I can't do it today. Um but I've been doing pretty good lately. I managed to stick to it for a good while. So like it happens. I have phases. I just have phases where I'm like everything's stable for a while. I'm good to go. I've got lots of energy. And then when the sleep flips, I'm just kind of dead for a couple of months and it sucks. And then it flips again. It's um it's a little rough sometimes, but
Hmm.
when everything's going smoothly, I enjoy it. So I'm just kind of riding that high.
Uh, how do you adapt when you're not in the right frame of mind for streaming, yet still wants to stream?
I will usually bite the bullet and call it off anyway.
Uh,
Because I know that if I'm in that kind of a mood, there's no way I can be entertaining to someone, and I'll probably just be moody and grumpy throughout the whole thing, and that's one, not the kind of vibe I want to, share, and two, it's just not fun at that point. Like even if I want to do it, if I'm already in a mood that I'm, if I'm just in a bad mood, I'm not going to have that fun. So I'm just like, yeah, no, we're not doing it today. It's not worth the I guess effort at that point to really just put myself through that if I'm feeling that crappy.
uh,
and like everybody's usually pretty understanding about it too. So like it usually works out. Like everybody's like, okay, like I'll usually be like, yeah, I'm feeling like crap, you guys. I'm calling stream off. And the thing that sucks about that is usually that happens like sometimes at the latest it'll happen like right when stream is supposed to start. I'll just be like, I'm ready to go, but I really feel like crap. Um but usually everybody's cool. Like they're usually like, "Oh man, I hope you feel better" and stuff. And I'm just like, "Yeah, we'll try again, and hopefully we'll have a better time tomorrow and stuff like that." And I just like having a community that's understanding like that.
Mm. So, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations as a VTuber?
I don't really know actually. I just like like I said, I just want to keep doing my thing for a while, and um I'll kind of just work on stuff as things happen, as I need to do them. Like on top, like aside from trying to be more consistent and trying to plan stuff more, just get better at reaching out and hopefully be able to do more collabs if I can deal with the deal with the
Mm.
anxiety and stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna feel it out and see what happens.
Feel it out, see what happens,
Yeah,
sail
pretty
on.
much.
Mm. Sail on, see what waters come.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Yes, yes. Are
That
there
song has
any?
been stuck in my head.
Yeah, yeah. I used to listen to like a dubstep version of it on my way to high school. Um,
Nice.
are there any specific content or creative projects on the horizon that you're particularly excited about pursuing?
I don't really know at the moment. One of my biggest dreams at the moment is to like, sweet lord, okay. One of my biggest dreams at the moment is to like work on D&D content in the future. Like I would love to be able to like stream a game with my
Uh,
friends, but like nobody's been up for it so far, which is a bummer. But I think it'd be awesome to have like D&D streams every now and then. Um, I don't know. That's just like one of those things that I've wanted to do for a long time but haven't been able to.
mm,
Um, as for other games, I'm not really sure. I don't really plan out what I'm going to do next until like I'm almost done a series, and right now I have like 3 things on the go, so I'm just kind of working through those.
oh, is there any final remarks you'd like to share to the audience?
Um I guess um you know, uh just try your best at whatever it is that you're doing. Doesn't matter what your ability is uh or isn't. I don't know. Whatever you got going on, just kind of keep trucking, do your best,
Hmm.
and um, I don't really know. I don't really know what else, to be honest with you.
Hey, life is a highway.
And I want to ride it all night long.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, reflecting on your past, you mentioned a news crew showing up at your house when you were 8 for an interview, right?
Yes. Oh my god, I hated that so much.
Want to talk
Um,
about it a bit before I ask even
I mean,
further on it?
yeah.
Go ahead.
So a long time ago, I was like 8. Um, so this was like 2000, 2001. My family went to like this get together. Um, and like so we're Portuguese, and we always go to like these big Portuguese parties in town and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
I guess one day the news lady from the Portuguese channel was there, and she met my mom and my brother, and I guess just wanted to interview a random blind kid. So
Okay.
there was this whole like Christmas special thing set up at the time, and so like they interviewed me and my brother. just asked about our lives and our time at the blind school and things like that. And um, they, for some reason, for like the end segment, they made me sing, and I was nervous and terrified, and I didn't want to do it, but like they kind of made me do it. So it was a whole thing that I didn't love. Um, and like I remember when it like actually aired, like my cousins kept like giving me crap because they're like, "Oh, I could barely hear you when you sing and stuff." I'm like, "It's not my fault they turned the volume down." Like so it was like it was a thing. I'm pretty sure like my mom just agreed to it for clout cuz like I have I have a love it was like a love but also tense relationship with my mom sometimes, and like sometimes she'll just do stuff for clout, going like, "Look at me, I have two disabled kids." And I'm like, "Great, yep, cool, love that." Thankfully, that's not really a thing I have to deal with these days, but
Uh,
that definitely was a common thing when I was a kid. It'd be like one of those like situations going like, "Oh, my kid plays music. Come play music for everybody, for the family. Just plop you, and then they'll just plop you in front of the chair, and they'll just like play something, and you're like, okay, what?" And they'll be like, just something. And then you'll play something, and they'll be like, "No, no, 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 play this thing instead." And I'm like, "Then why didn't you tell me to play that thing?" It's like a whole, and then they're just like, "But like, look at how amazing they are," and it's just like I don't really want to be stared at like that. I didn't love that when I was it was like a whole thing.
mhm. So in short, you would
Um,
describe you would say you hated it, right?
I was not a fan. No,
Not a fan of that
it
interview?
was pretty awful.
Mhm.
Um, which is like kind of weird given that experience that I'm now like a content creator and I just sort of put myself on the internet.
Yeah.
But I guess the difference between that and what I do is that it's my choice this time, and I can do it my way, and
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about um just performing to someone else's standards. It's my standards, it's my thing.
Mhm.
And I'm doing it for me and anyone that wants to be a part of it, you know.
Alright. And with that, in mind, did you hate this interview? Our interview?
Oh no,
I
this was great.
Great. Perfect.
This was great. I
Mhm.
appreciate thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for coming. Mhm. I'm sure, when did you, stop being nervous in this interview, by chance? Or are you still
I
nervous?
mean, yeah, I was gonna say I didn't, but like
I
I'm
see.
dealing with it. It's cool. It's fine.
It's cool.
Everything's cool.
Everything everything's fine. My room might be on fire,
Yep.
but it's fine.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm. Alright. Is there a, upcoming stream you'd like to, plug in?
um, I've been doing a Pokemon Sapphire randomizer Nuzlocke where every Pokemon is named after a follower. So I'm continuing that tomorrow.
Mhm.
So if anyone wants to come around for that, that's a thing. And then
Alright.
like the rest of the week's gonna be Metopia. So that's like it's been fun.
Gotcha.
um but yeah, that's pretty much what I Ooh, also, I do community Mario Kart on the first Monday of every month. So when I come back from my mom's, that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing next Monday. Is we're gonna have a Mario Kart day.
Uh-huh.
So that is also a thing.
Alright. Alright, everyone. We will be concluding this episode of the show. Thank you very much for coming to the stream or even VOD, especially, up to this point. Thank you very much,
Mm,
Minnie, for your time and energy this episode. You
thank you for
chatters and
having
VOD
me.
watchers, again, will be able to find links to her socials down in the description down below. Check her out, like, subscribe, and
Mhm.
yeah, have a good time, y'all. Have a good time, y'all.